Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today, I'm not doing a review per se of a game, but I want to talk about a game that has really grown on me in the last couple of years. It continues to come to the table more and more and more. And right away, when I first played this game, I'm like, yeah, this is a decent game. But this game is Marvel United. Now, there is 3 core boxes now that are officially out. There is a fourth one that is kickstarting that's going to be coming out pretty soon here. There's a lot of the Kickstarter stuff. I don't have actually any of the Kickstarter stuff currently. I did back the multiverse Kickstarter stuff, but I don't have that yet. So what I have, what I'm going to be talking about, is just stuff that you can get from retail. So far, there are 3 core boxes and a couple different expansions that you can get. I've got the 3 core boxes and 1 or 2 expansions for this game right now. But it just continues to come to the table. And I was playing this again the other day after the newest core box came out, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good one too. I'm not going to be reviewing that. That'll be on a different reviews and ratings episode. But I was playing and I'm like, this might just be the perfect game for myself. And I think a lot of people should be trying it. It doesn't mean that you're going to love it for sure, but I think a lot of people will enjoy this game. I'm going to go over a couple different points that kind of why I have been enjoying it so much over the years and why it continues to come to the table. And first off, if you've never played Marvel United, it's a very simple cooperative game where you're playing as a hero versus a villain, and there's a bunch of different villains you can play against. There's a bunch of different heroes you can play as. The heroes have a deck of cards that have basically, I think, 3 or 4 unique cards to them that have kind of a special ability. Other than that, you are playing these cards that have these symbols on them, and there's like 3 symbols, I think, in this game, and it's basically move, punch, or do heroic actions. And you're just moving around this board that is set out and trying to defeat the villains. But the heroes feel somewhat same from person to person, except for the couple different specific to their character cards that they have. And it's very, very gateway style cooperative game. Now, this game is very easy to learn. It's very easy to teach. I could put this game away for 4 or 5 months and bring it back to the table, and without looking at the rules, I could teach someone this game. And I love games that are like that I can put away and I don't have to relearn that game. That is a huge bonus for myself. So, easy to learn, easy to teach. It's a gateway game that new players can play, but also your gamers are going to be excited about this game as well. It's a game that I can play with anyone, and I've played this with my son. You can play it with my son, my nephew. When I first bought this, I bought this as a Christmas present for my nephew, and he was like 8 or 9 years old at the time. He got it to the table, no problem, taught him, and it was easy. You can play it with, your significant other. You can play it with your game group. It's just, you can bring it to anyone and teach this game. And whether they are gamers or new to the hobby, I think they're going to enjoy this game. It's going to have some interesting decisions each time to play. And it's also a cheap game to get into. If you're just going to buy the regular base set, the Marvel United base set, that the first one that came out, I see it on sale all the time for like $10. And this is not a game that is worth $10, in my opinion. I mean, it's got these nice miniatures in it. It's got these cardboard locations. It's got the villains, the heroes. There's a bunch of decks of cards in them. It's definitely not a game that you would think is selling for $10, but the base box of it sells for $10 all the time. And, the other boxes are a little bit more expensive. The newest box is $30 currently, I believe. But I feel like that's a good price for this game. Even it might be pretty cheap for this game, actually, with the miniatures in it and stuff. But I think this is a cheap game that you can get into, especially that base box, and you can see if it's a game you want to get more stuff for. You can see the system. You're like, okay, this is a good game. I'm gonna go buy out more stuff. So you can basically invest in learning the game and see if it's a game that you want to invest more into at a relatively cheap position. The game has got lots and lots of variability, and variability is huge for me because I am a person that gets bored with the same games over and over again, especially if there's not much variability. This game has a lot of variability, especially if you get a couple of the expansions. I mean, the characters are unique. The characters are probably the least different thing about this game, but I like playing with all the different characters. The villains is what really is gonna bring the variability in this game. From one villain to another is going to switch out this game completely. It's going to flip the game on its head. They're going to have specific rules for them, but very simple rules that you can get into very fast. The locations, you get a bunch of different locations with all the different expansions, then those are going to change how the game is going to work. So from game to game, there's a lot of variability in this easy game. And I love the plug and play nature of this. You know, pick a couple heroes, pick a villain, randomly throw out some locations out there. I love the plug and play nature of this. And for a plug and play game, it's not one it's a very easy setup. Like a couple minutes is going to take to set up this game, where a bigger game that's going to come to the table that has all of these different expansions usually isn't going to come to the table. The bloat in this game doesn't hurt it coming to the table. Like a lot of games, the more stuff I get, I find it harder to get the game to the table. Example, Marvel Champions, one of my all-time favorite games. I have so much stuff for that game now that it doesn't come to the table very often because I'm like, do I want to bring this out? There's so much stuff, and you got to build decks for different characters, and do I want to do all this? Or else I can bring out Marvel United, which is a much faster setup time for everything. And that plug and play, the bloat of this does not hurt it coming to the table because it continues to come to the table very regularly. Where Marvel Champions is just, the more stuff I get, I'm like, I'm gonna go with something else. And I want more stuff for Marvel Champions, but it's causing the game not to come to the table. Where Marvel United's the opposite. The more stuff I have, the more I want to play this game. And also, another thing that I really like about this game, I love this game solo. I love this game as a cooperative game, playing with others, but I bring it to the table just as often as a solo game. And I can't say that for a bunch of my other games that I really like. I usually like it as a solo game or with others. This one is, I will gladly play it solo or with others. I don't have a preference, really. And that's huge. That makes me get to the table more so than a game that, like, I'm only going to play it with others or I'm only going to play it solo. This I can bring to my game group, or I can leave at my house and play it by myself all the time. And yeah, that's just my current thoughts on Marvel United. It's a game that I think just has continued to rise. When I first bought the base set of this, I think I rated it maybe a 7.5. And then I get a little more stuff. I'm like, oh, it's like an 8.5. Now it's living at about maybe a 9, maybe even higher than that, actually. The fact that it just continues to come to the table should be worth noting, because a lot of these games that I really like, they're not coming to the table. Marvel United continues to come to the table. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Marvel United. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on Marvel United. How you're playing it. Are you bringing it to the table a lot? Do you like all the bloat? Or do you want to just keep it as a very simple base box set? But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.